Oh, sorry, it should be. Hey! That's it. Ibanez sb70. Now that I've been working on it. So now we have a neck pickup. A bridge pickup. Oh, sorry, bridge pickup with a tone there. And then a neck pickup with a tone there. Which makes more sense to me. I think what's happened with this guitar at some point, it's been, as I said, I think the original finish was like this, but I think it might have been re-oiled or something like that with True Oil or something, which kind of, or linseed oil or something, because there was dirt on the pickup rings, and it was like, I better give that a wee bit of a scrape. Nothing removed. I had to sand them. So I sanded the pickup ring to get them a bit less scabby looking. Doesn't affect the functionality of the thing. Lowered the action a bit. Radiused it properly. It wasn't really well done. Yeah, so in the middle position, phased. Obviously using the phased sound and then soloing over with the phased sound is not a good idea, so neck. Bridge. That was the Joyo British sound now. Rat. yeah, so now up and running quite good. Yes, did I mention these are Super 70 pickups? They're Super 70 pickups, which are, I've got one in that. Also what Eddie Van Halen had in his Ibanez Destroyer that he was in, whatever guitar it was, the famous one. I think he changed the magnet in it or something like that, but it was basically, it was an Ibanez Super 70. It was the famous Van Halen pickup. Amazing pickups. The tuners, actually, like I took one off just to see if it did say Goto on the back. It doesn't, but there's still something about it that tells me they are the Ibanez Smooth Tuner 2. They just don't say on the wee metal clip on the back. Yeah, no, but it's much nicer when a guitar works. See when the switches do what they're meant to do, and you can actually get control over it. Yep, I'm not sure about the volume control. It's not nearly. It's funny, but see when things are, you get to see it if I'm if it's a guitar that's got a switch in it, and you're trying to work out what that switch does, but you don't actually know what it does. It's really difficult, and I think that's what's happening here. See when something's not right, nothing really acts the way it's meant to. So it's like, if you've got like a pickup that or a switch that's malfunctioned, everything seems a bit off, and it doesn't. Maybe it's a confidence thing when when something's a little bit iffy, your confidence goes on it. But when you expect it to do exactly what it does, what it's meant to do, like when you think it's going to do it, it's not. I don't know. The peace of mind thing is there, so you get to enjoy playing it a little bit more. I get that with guitars as well. When you've got like you're playing, I've had a guitar for probably not that recently. Years ago, having a guitar for a few weeks, and then suddenly noticing that the 13th fret on the A string doesn't work, and no matter what I play, every time I play anything, I managed to play it for weeks without ever playing that note, and then suddenly, because it's there, you're like, trying to avoid it. You always end up hitting it, and then it's just So it's nice getting a guitar that's working nice. It's one of those things that just comfort with the guitar. Though I do quite like it. I like the guitar anyway, but that's because I kind of knew I was going to fix it. Yeah, so I think what had happened was the switch wasn't working, and this whole theory that the volume control's been the wrong way around. Actually, I took the switch out, and it was full of shite. And it's one of the they call them leaf switches. It's like kind of two sides. You can unbolt it and take the whole thing to bits. I took the whole thing to bits, and I had the isopropyl and all that on it, trying to clean what I think is this true oil shit that's dripped into the switch 20, 30 years ago, and turned to like resin. You get like when you've got like pine furniture, and you get that sticky bit of resin that can stay sticky for 20 years, and it's like that. It's that's what this oil's like. It does have a strange feel to it now that I feel it. It's not sticky, but it's a little bit. I don't think it's just dirt. And yeah, now that was me using the phase there again. So kind of, I don't know. There's a place for it. Then I think the place probably is. It's like, see, trying to cut through in a mix. It's like having a phase switch or a coil split switch. I love a coil split. Having a phase switch or no phase switch it's like I'll have the phase switch. It's just like that, one of those things when you're jamming with a couple of guitars, especially when they're both sounding kind of similar, having that weird quacky sound is very different from the in-phase sound. You know, it sticks out. And again, if you're like me and you like a bit of loop pedaling, just having another extra sound in there just gives you a little bit more movement. Or you just get, if you just get bored using the same 3 sounds, you've now got 4. The thing is, a dual coil split switch would give you 6 instead of 4. But it does involve breaking into the pickups. That's more money, so I'm doing that. It does a bit. I don't know. I'm not quite, well, yes, now, but the thing again, like this kind of goes with what we were saying earlier on at the start of this video, or when I started talking shite. Now that I know that that's the phase on, it sounds totally phased. I would totally guess that, but as opposed to, but that's like kind of one of those things where it's like if you hand me a guitar I don't know, you know, and give it and go up here, is this the bridge pickup or the neck pickup? The thing is, I know it's the bridge pickup because I just chose it, and then so it's really obvious when you can hear phase and out of phase, or when you hear bridge pickup and neck pickup. But just completely out the blue with a guitar you've not heard before, and ask where it's a neck pickup, you're like, well. And the thing is, your perception actually changes once you know. So I mean, you could have given me this, and then it's like, mind you, it wasn't working properly. But you know, I was sitting there and I was like, is the switch the right way around? And it's like kind of, because things weren't really working, I couldn't really tell. I was having to tap it with a screwdriver to see what was happening. Whereas now that I know that it's working, it's really obvious. Obviously, this is the neck pickup. And that's the bridge. Not really that, that's with the tone all the way down. It's amazing how similar it actually sounds when you take all the tone off the bridge pickup, isn't it? The thing is, that the Super 70 in the Red Roadster is one of my favourite pickups ever. It doesn't have one in the neck. Having one in the neck's pretty nice. That's a. It's got a real to it. Funny ones. It's like, again, I suppose it's like, you've got to describe it. Oh, what's your new Ibanez like? Oh, it's like a kind of, it's a Strat. Well, kinda. I think, well, I'm doing, obviously, I know this is a 25.5 inch scale, but I don't know it. I'm sure it's a 25.5 inch scale. I don't know if I would have noticed if it wasn't. Am I right? Yeah. So it's a Fender. No, it's a Blazer neck. So and a Blazer is a Strat. So it's a Strat. But equally, I can see the point where you go up here. Oh, we're going to have a jam. Record a quick solo. It's up here. Yeah, totally. It's like, well, what kind of guitar do you want? It's like, I've got a Strat neck. Can you get me a Strat? Yeah, no problem. You come out with this. You're going to go, hey, is this not really a Strat? Because it's got humbucker pickups in it. But then again, if you take, you kind of argue if you put 2 humbuckers in that and told someone it was a Strat, you go, yeah, it kind of is. It's more like a Strat than anything else. The shape's a wee bit odd. Did I mention it's got a bullet truss rod? The best type of truss rod. That's what I was told, worked out before. It's not actually The truss rod's not any different, like from a regular truss rod. You can't even see one. It's the actual bolt that goes in the top that's the bullet bit. So you can actually, I don't know if you can, but I mean, in theory, you could just buy, the actual bolt on the top and then convert your guitar to a bullet truss rod and save so much hassle. Again, my reason for this is you can totally see where to put the Allen key, totally, and you can see whether it's fitting or not. A lot of the time you've got like a wee hole and you're kind of looking in it and you're trying to shine the light in it. You've got your torch out, your phone with the torch, trying to find out, trying to put up, you're putting a thing down, the hole's this deep, you put the Allen key in and you're kind of, oh, there we go, oh, I think it's in, is it? I don't know. And that's why Allen keys quite often truss rods are damaged, because someone's been putting in not quite the right Allen key, the one that's meant to be the metric one, and they've used the imperial one, which kind of sort of fits, but it's a couple of millimetres smaller, just a couple of millimetres, enough so it still seems to sort of grip it, and then when you go to turn it, it turns within it, and then chews the edges off the bolt. Yeah, that happens a lot with Allen keys, which just doesn't happen if you've got a bullet truss rod. Did I tell you I'm now manufacturing bullet truss rods? I'm not, but I should be. Somebody, but then I don't know what, you'd have to know which guitars it fitted. And is anyone actually going to bother with that? I think most people go, truss rod, oh I gotta get my take to say, I don't touch truss rods. But it's lovely. Yeah, so that was only meant to be 5 minutes of me demonstrating playing it, but instead I ended up talking rubbish again, so I'm just going to put this out tonight as part 2, so you're getting a super bargain 40-minute or whatever it is in the picture I put together. But yeah, obviously, if you see one of these, there's things to look for. Look for, even it says on the back of the deck plate, made in Japan, D82, so 1982, made in Japan, and Ibanez, you're onto a winner, straight up. Pretty much if it's 82 in Japanese, as far as I've discovered, you're onto a winner. Yeah, pretty much for build quality and stuff. You might not like the look of the guitar, but for build quality, or it might not do what you want it to, because, oh, I want to play heavy metal, so I bought this Stratocaster, and it's not really very heavy metal, and it's like, well, did you buy a Stratocaster? So, there's a bit in it. There's that up here. Oh, I'm a massive Mark Knopfler fan. I only want to play Dire Straits, so I bought this with 2 humbuckers, and you go, well, that's where the face comes in, isn't it? Well, learn to try and play these things before you actually just do it live in a video. That was meant to be money for nothing but Dire Straits. I don't think he used a phase switch. I think he's is it a half-cocked wah-wah or something, which is kind of what phase switch sounds a little bit. It's got a little bit of that wah-wah when you pedal and you've got it halfway up. Belter. Catch you later.